So welcome everybody to the EDU Chain Semester 3 Hackathon opening ceremony. Really appreciate everyone tuning in to watch this and for taking part in Sem 3. Welcome to the family officially. My name is Jake and I'll be hosting today. We've already had two semesters so far, Semester 1 and Semester 2, which really kickstarted the developer ecosystem for EDU Chain. We've had fantastic response and we've now got a thriving community of dApps on EDU Chain. And the fact we're now at Sem 3 is scary because the semesters are rolling on fast, but it's really exciting because I know with each hackathon that comes by, we're getting a fresh batch of developers into the ecosystem that are going to be contributing to EDU Chain and the vision we're trying to build. So very excited that we're here again for Semester 3. The opening ceremony is all about getting to know the EDU Chain team and to learn more about the ecosystem. And we'll go over a little bit about the specifics of Sem 3 too. So quick introduction. Like I said, I'm Jake. I'm marketing manager at Animoca Brands and Open Campus. And I've also got Harry with me today from HackQuest, who's going to be talking over some of the specifics around Sem 3. And we'll introduce some of the rest of the team as well. But before we do, I just want to get onto our sponsors on the next slide. And everyone you see here is a company that will be very involved in the day-to-day on EDU Chain and the hackathon. Everyone will be given hands-on support, either from a marketing perspective, from mentors in the actual incubator towards the end as well. We've got some big names here, Animoca Brands, HackQuest, New Campus, Rising, and TinyTap as well. So you'll definitely be seeing lots more of these logos and also lots more of the teams behind these logos as well throughout Semester 3. Just to quickly go over the agenda, what Harry and I are going to talk through today. I'm going to give a quick overview of Open Campus, exactly what that is, talk a little bit more about the hackathon series and where we've got so far. And then I'm going to pass over to Harry to talk more about the themes for Semester 3, some of the submission criteria, going to do a quick run through of the event page as well. And then we'll finish up on some key dates for everybody to be aware of. So I'll kick things off with an overview of Open Campus. Hopefully, it's not the first time you've heard of Open Campus. However, if it is, in one line, Open Campus is a community-led DAO that's set up to bring education on chain. And the vision for this DAO is basically to become the largest on-chain education network. And we want people to think of Open Campus if they're in education and think of onboarding into the crypto Web3 space. We want them to think of Open Campus. We want them to think of EDU Chain, and we want them to think of the EDU token as well. And just one liner for EDU Chain itself, the blockchain that we're all going to be building on top of. It's the first blockchain for education, and it's set up to prepare students and learners for the future of work. And I'll dive into a little bit more around the vision for EDU Chain later. But first, I want to have a quick look at the ecosystem and the partners we have within it as well. So you can see on the slide here, again, lots of big and exciting logos. We are backed by Binance as a project. So Binance Labs invested into Open Campus pre-launch. We also are backed by Animoca Brands. Animoca Brands is one of the core contributors to the DAO. And we have over 100 partners, which are edtech companies from the traditional education space and also the Web3 space as well. And combined, they have around 20 million addressable learners, which are all being funneled into the ecosystem through Open Campus ID, which I'll talk a little bit more about. But that's a quick overview of some of the partners we have. And this list is growing every day. Every week, there's someone new building with EDU Chain. So then quickly to go over EDU Chain in a little bit more detail. EDU Chain is a layer 3 rollup on the Arbitrum Orbit tech stack. And like I said, this is the first blockchain built for education, and it's powered by the EDU token. And so the journey so far is that we launched testnet last year around July 2024. We had a really successful campaign, testnet campaign that ran from July all the way up to January 2025. I think we had over 100 million transactions, and this was a really good campaign for us to get some traction for the initial dApps that were on EDU Chain. This led us up to mainnet, which went live on January 17th. And all of this is powered by the EDU token, which is the gas token on EDU Chain and on mainnet, which is a Binance listed token with over 300,000 holders. And we also have Open Campus ID as another core pillar, which is the reputation system within our blockchain. This has around 900,000 holders and is a core way of how we bring users to the dApps that build with us. And why EDU Chain matters is one, it's the first blockchain for education, and it's now a home for all of the builders and partners within our ecosystem to build their products. So it's really exciting for us to get to the mainnet stage. We've been talking about it for a long time, and the project has all been gearing up towards this. And now we have a mainnet is live and a bunch of developers building for it, and you guys are about to join that as well. Just to go over a few more mainnet stats, since we are now live on mainnet, which went live January the 17th. Already, we have over 4 million transactions. We actually had a really good day this Sunday just gone where we had over 500,000 transactions in one day. This is from about 250,000 unique active wallets. And while this traction is great, it is just a starting point. There's only 20 dApps live at the moment, and still a lot of the core initiatives are rolling out. So it's a really good signal that people are already caring about EDE Chain. But it really is just the start. 4 million transactions seems big now, but I'm hoping in another couple of months it will seem like a tiny number thanks to the contributions from all of the other dApps and the products that you guys will be building as well. Um, so that's a quick bit about EDU Chain. Then I just want to give a quick overview to the hackathon series, which you guys are all participating in as well. So the goal of the hackathon is to source the best developer talent from across the globe and bring them into our ecosystem. We want to bring all of our builders in to help us develop our learn, own, and earn model in education and build a thriving ecosystem of dApps. And so what I mean by learn, own, and earn is learn is kind of the starting point. We want to provide new and novel learning experiences for anyone that comes onto EDU Chain. That's what most people think of when they think of education is that, okay, what can I learn? What content is there to learn? And we want to use blockchain technology to provide permissionless access to education from learners across the globe. So that's the core starting point of this ecosystem. There's going to be a ton of learning applications, some of which might be built by you on EDE Chain for people to get started. And then once we have that foundation of learning applications, we then want to help people to own those achievements that they complete on these learning platforms. And this is where Open Campus ID comes in, which is our decentralized identifier. And it's essentially the reputation layer within the EDE chain and Open Campus ecosystem. So whenever you are learning on EDE chain, we want that to be recorded with an on-chain achievement. And essentially what an Open Campus ID then becomes is an on-chain CV that you can use to build up your reputation within the Open Campus ecosystem. And like I've said, at the moment, there's already 900,000 holders of an Open Campus ID, and we're now rolling out this achievements feature across some of our partner platforms so that people can begin minting on EDE Chain for their learning achievements. And this is a really crucial aspect and a point of difference for our ecosystem because what this enables us to do is provide a really simple onboarding journey for non-Web3 users. And lots of people talk about onboarding new users to the blockchain. Not many people actually have a system in place, but Open Campus ID and on-chain achievements is exactly how we are going to be onboarding that 20 million addressable learners that I talked about earlier into our ecosystem. They complete a course, they can mint an achievement, they're now on-chain, and they're going to be ready to then explore the other dApps within our ecosystem. So we're providing learning opportunities, we're then providing anyone that comes in and learns with us a chance to record all of that progress on chain via their Open Campus ID. And then the final part of the ecosystem that we're really focusing on this year is the earning aspect to the ecosystem. So you've learned a new skill, you've now got proof that you've learned it. The next stage of any learner's journey is to use that new skill to unlock a new earning opportunity. And so this is what we're going to be aggressively expanding throughout 2025 is all the different ways you can learn, sorry, not learn, how you can earn on EDE chain. And this will be products like job platforms, it could be bounty platforms, and just basically integrating the Open Campus ID into a variety of different platforms. So if you are building with us, some sort of platform that helps our learners to link up with employers or unlock an earning opportunity will be a big focus this year, and we'd love you to help us build out that section of the ecosystem. So yeah, quick overview of what the vision is and why we've got this hackathon is to facilitate the learn, own, and earn model on EDE chain. And I will next go to the hackathon series that you guys are involved in right now. It's set up over 3 semesters. 2 of them have already been complete, and as you know, we're now in semester 3. There's $1 million in prize money across all 3 events. This one specifically has a 250K prize pool, Sem 3. And this is part of a wider developer ecosystem fund of $20 million, and the additional money will be for things like investing into dApps on chain, providing liquidity, and onboarding partners into the ecosystem as well. So we've got a really well-funded ecosystem that is set to grow. We are at the third semester of this hackathon series, but I don't think it will stop here. We will do many more throughout 2025 and beyond to just keep this developer ecosystem growing and thriving. And to talk a little bit next about the hackathon journey so far. Like I said, we've already had two events. This has resulted in nearly 10,000 hackers joining and participating in our hackathon series, and resulting in 1,500 dApps being submitted, which has kept our judges very busy at the end of each hackathon. But it's been amazing to see the response. And through that, we've managed to award over 70 winners, all of which have been invited to our incubator that we have set up for anyone that builds with us. So I'm fully expecting us to smash the records so far. We're going to have even more hackers and even more dApps submitted by the end of Sem 3. So I'm very excited to work with you guys on that. And I'm going to now pass over to Harry to talk a little bit more about semester 3, specifically some of the tracks involved. So Harry, I'll pass over to you, sir.
Thanks, Jake. Excited to talk about semester 3. So I'll start with the tracks. We have 3 priority tracks right now. We have AI, DeFi, and Earn. Obviously, no explanation needed for AI. AI has been one of the hottest topics where everybody as part of the team are all super excited about. One fun fact is in semester 2, we actually already saw many AI projects or AI agents, AIX Web3 projects that's when we were reviewing the project. So we're very excited to see that being a priority track with 70K total prize pool. And then you have DeFi and Earn, which are the foundations of the ecosystem. So very excited to see those as priority tracks. Then we have DeSci, Play, and Miscellaneous. Each have about up to 20,000 in prize pool. DeSci is one I think as part of the Open Campus team are very bullish on. We actually have a 1 million DeSci fund that's used to finance and provide grants, incentives to projects building in the DeSci sector. And we have Play, and again, Play and Earn is something you always hear, and we want to see more projects in the Play sector in semester 3, especially semester 2. We had it in a priority track, but we're hoping to see more. So we decided to keep Play as an additional track this time. And I wanted to spend a little bit more time on Miscellaneous just because some folks, if they're new to hackathon, you may not be familiar with, you just hear Miscellaneous, it sounds like a fancy term, or like you may not follow what it is. It's literally just a catch-all term for anything that do not fall under this category, right? So if your project does not fall under AI, DeFi, Earn, DeSci, or Play, let's say it's a learning dApp that doesn't have an Earn components, you can totally select Miscellaneous. We'd love to see that project built on EDU Chain. Same thing for, let's say, NFT infra, right? You can still submit in the Miscellaneous track, and there's still up to 20,000 prize and funding. The last thing I wanted to mention, and you probably saw that on the hackathon page and the tweets we've been sending out, is the total prize pool doesn't change. So it's 250,000. That being said, how we allocate to each track may vary based on submission quality. So what that means is, let's say we got out of 1,000 submissions, let's say they're 200 are all pretty strong in AI. Hopefully we see that. And then we could, maybe there are 15 that are really, really good. But other tracks, let's say one of them may not be that strong. And then we maybe, after filtering out the ones that do meet the quality bar, we may allocate some of that funds to the strongest track, let's say AI in this case. So that may happen. And in some of the cases, based on our experience, maybe do not have enough quality projects, those tend to go to Miscellaneous. So I just wanted to spend a little more time here, just because we have a seemingly small price allocated for Miscellaneous. That doesn't mean you shouldn't submit. You definitely should submit. And a lot of people ask about what is considered as a quality project or what is considered as a qualified project. We actually have, we're in the process, we published an article on what is considered as a qualified submission. And we are writing what we think is considered as a quality submission, right? So I think the submission criteria here are typically what's required as a qualified submission, meaning we believe it meets the basic requirements to be reviewed and to be considered for winning a prize. So a basic example is a project that doesn't have their GitHub repo as public. right? Or maybe not deployed on EDU Chain. Maybe it's another project you build on a different ecosystem that obviously wouldn't meet the submission criteria. So GitHub, deploying on the right chain are some of the basics. The others are additional information for us to evaluate you as a project or hackathon project or potential project to get additional funding, right? So there's demo video, maximum 10 minutes, but usually, people are not going to watch the whole thing with full 100% attention. So my personal preference is I think anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes should be enough to capture that. You're more than welcome to submit a pitch video as well, right? So that's also part of that submission inputs that you can put. But requirement-wise, as long as you have a demo video, that should be good. Obviously, a description about the project. Why is it special? Why does it fall under that category? What are some things you're built, and maybe will build in the future? And there's a saying that the project itself, matter a lot, but the team itself matter even more, right? So the people is what truly set the project apart. And we're looking for long-term projects in the EDU chain ecosystem. So that means we will also look at who is building this project, right? So who, is it a single person team, or is it, let's say a team that's very experienced, know each other well? Obviously, that wouldn't really necessarily shift the hackathon evaluation. Down the line, that may be something we look at as a part of the invitation to our incubator program or some of the follow-on grants. So that's part of the reason why we still want to collect that information. And obviously, legal compliance, that's something obviously very important. If you just fork something, or you want to make sure there's no IP infringements, there's nothing that against any law. And for multiple submission in general, we do not against it at all. But and as long as it is unique, it is put in efforts. Again, personally speaking, not speaking on behalf of the whole team here. We typically encourage for a hackathon of this caliber. We invite you to really invest in one project, right? You think can really set things apart and have the biggest chance to win first prize. Because I think if you look at the prize distribution, even from a realistic perspective, if you win first place, it's going to be a lot better than, let's say, winning ninth and 10th, right, in some of the other categories. So doubling down on 1 to 2 projects and try to make your way to the incubator, eventually getting grants for it, will be the best strategy there. That's our take on the criteria. Judges here, I think no need to say much. Stellar lineup. You have Yasu, obviously the chairman of Animoca Brands. You have Jonah leading portfolios. You have Sean, obviously, Jake. You have folks from TinyTab. You have the Ryzen team. You have New Campus, O-City from leading ApeCoin. You have Prince evaluating so many projects as an investment manager, and some of the HackQuest folks as well. Obviously a stellar lineup of judges who will also be, many of these folks will also be mentors and giving sessions, workshops, and you might see us in Twitter spaces, in recordings, workshops, and you might see IRL at some of the EDU Chain events we host. So obviously that'll be very exciting if you have the opportunity to come. Judging, I think, again, you can find a lot more information on the hackathon page, and we might do a quick walkthrough down the line, but at a very high level, right? We look at what's the impact on the ecosystem. Something like if I'm doing this hackathon, the first question I may ask is, or the first action item I do after, let's say, exploring the ecosystem. Let's say I'm new to EDU Chain, I might look at, I don't know, Selfish's ecosystem board. I take a look at what projects are out there, what projects are doing super well, maybe got user allocation and are actively contributing to the EDU Chain ecosystem, especially on mainnet. I would look at maybe what project's missing, right? Let's say there's a great lending protocol, there's a great DEX, right? There's a great payment solution. What else is missing if I'm building a DeFi protocol, right? So that might be an angle that really affect the ecosystem impact. For community engagement, obviously, EDU Chain has a lot of communities, and because it's DAO by the end of the day, so there's a lot of players, very diverse from across the globe, but also sectors, right? And there's a great IP as an NFT. There's also a lot of ways to engage the broader community. So how does your project play into that strength? Very important. I think innovation, probably the most important factor from my point of view. Like, is it just a fork, or is it something that's actually cool, right? It doesn't mean the tag has to be next level. It can be a business model innovation. It can be a GTM innovation, right? It can be a tagline or a very clear value prop. Deployment on EDU Chain, I think this is probably a yes/no question. If it's not built on EDU Chain, probably not the right hackathon for you. So you should consider deploying. If it's multi-chain project, that's perfectly fine. But if it's obviously if it's native, even better. But there's if you're not interested to build on EDU Chain, this is obviously EDU Chain Hackathon. So would recommend you at least consider check out the docs and the partners and everything. Feasibility, scalability. Again, we're looking for long-term projects. So that's something naturally need to consider. And last but not the least, teams as a whole, we can judge as a whole, as opposed to just the project itself. This is something everybody is looking forward to. So there's 250,000 total prize pool. Again, that number will not change. It may be redistributed based on submission quality. I just want to emphasize that again. Something that a lot of people look forward to. And as a founder myself, I think it's always great to have a follow-up action item right after a hackathon. And it always brings me so much joy that some hackers, they will ask, oh, what's the next steps, right? Like, do I, do some more course, or do I apply for a mini grant? Do I contribute as an advocate, or like, and it's obviously OC has a lot planned there. So after, let's say you're one of the winners, or let's say someone maybe not win first, top 30 or 40, but you're still very actively wanting to contribute, and you're part of the community that way, you may get an invitation to join OCI or OC Incubator, or you get the opportunity to pitch for up to $1,000, up to $100,000 milestone-based additional funding. There's a lot of investors in the OC network. As we mentioned, OC is backed by a lot of tier one investors, and mentorship from judges, the mentors, previous winners, and so forth. Yeah, so and this time's a little different. I mean, I think one is you probably saw we're coming to 20 different cities across 10 countries around the globe, as opposed to, in the past, we were in multiple countries, but we weren't, that wide of a scale. And because our community is very international, we wanted to be everywhere. You asked for it in sem one and sem two, and here we are. So, in addition to, local build stations or uni tours, this time we're bringing in different types of events as well. So there's going to be multiple workshops that will be led by previous winners of EDU Chain Hackathons and our mentors. We have virtual co-learning camps across the globe. We have one in Nigeria that's running now. We have one in Kenya that's also running, starting, I think, in about a week. We have Indonesia co-learning camp, and a couple of more in English running towards the end of the month. There's a hacker house around consensus that will be, great to get very quality projects in. So the application should go live in the next few days. We're also going to a lot of universities. If you're interested for EDU Chain to go to your university and can help us to, let's say, facilitate one or talk to the university, please feel free to message us on the Open Campus or HackQuest handle, and happy to take it farther from there. We're also hosting multiple regional hackathons where there's going to be a small prize, in addition to the or as part of the grand prize pool, but in addition to the particular tracks you may see. So if you are participating in the regional hackathons, you can get mentor support. You can have free food, free swag, and a lot of benefits and perks for sure. Most importantly, you connect with other builders in the EDU Chain ecosystem. And the good old build station. I think we invite a lot of top builders in every city, and that's where, if your project get invited, that means you went through our selection process and you're a very qualified builder. We want to see you build. There will be office hours from the OC team, and so forth. Awesome. We just wanted to remind everyone again on the key dates. So bookmark these dates, and so remember to submit before obviously April 10th. But registration is already live, and you can check out detailed information about the track, mentor, partner, information of how we select and evaluate winners. What are some of the additional perks after the hackathon? And from my point of view, the most important resource section, where how can you start building? What are some of the resources we have to help you win, right? So those are the key dates. And winner will announce a few weeks after that. And we're expecting a lot of amazing hackers to build. So if you have any more questions, feel free to message us at any point. I think before we end, I'll quickly share the hackathon page just for everyone to see. So this is the HackQuest hackathon page. So you should be able to um, go to Explore Hackathon. And so if you're on the page itself, you can go to /hackathons. And then the first one, the highlight one, is just going to be EDU Chain. Or if you just search EDU Chain Hackathon, it should be one of the top three that pops up. And again, build on the first blockchain for education and win from the 250,000 prize pool. At a high level, it includes information about each of the track. It's up to this amount. Again, it might be redistributed across the board. You can find additional information here on each of the criteria and additional information on the price and judge. There is an intro video on EDU Chain presented by Will and our OC team. There's some reasons why you should participate, details information about the track, and what does each of the track include. And more importantly, if you are in any of these regions or countries, US, Brazil, Argentina, Nigeria, Kenya, India, Greater China, Vietnam, Singapore, Indonesia, we're coming to you. So we have build stations, workshops, Hacker House, regional hackathon, co-learning camp, Unitour, all across these regions. I think there's in total 30 plus that we are running. You can find more about it in the schedule section. We will gradually update each one of them, including a registration link, including photos of the venue, additional information, how do you apply, gradually as more information come in. So mark some of these time in your calendar as well if you're in any of those regions. Last but not the least, we included some previous workshops on how to get started. So if you want to check out the YouTube video as well. And then in the resource section, you can check out a lot of information. I highly recommend check out the docs. I think the docs is a lot better than before as well. There's more bridge solutions. The faucets are both live and kicking. And so if you have any more information or any more questions, you can always contact any of the hosts here. And if you are one of the partners here, thank you so much for all your help and support. And if you want to be listed and would like to help promote the hackathons and source projects, please feel free to message us as well, and we'll get you set up. Again, a lot of amazing mentors here, so feel free to message us as well. You can find us in the EDU Chain developer group. There's actually also a to-do list. So after you sign up, you can join the Telegram group, you can join a Discord, and more things. I believe there's already a few projects submitted, even though it's been one day. I won't click into the gallery. So, but you guys feel free to do that and like project as you see fit. Yeah, here's the to-do list recommended by the team. Amazing. Back to you, Lynn.
Yeah, thanks, Harry, for an amazing overview of the event. That's all we had planned for today for the opening ceremony. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in and listened to what we've had to say today. I hope you have an amazing semester 3 hackathon experience. We've got lots planned. Like Harry said, we're going to be in countries around the globe hosting IRL events. So hopefully we get to meet some of you in person and talk about your ideas in detail. One final thing I will leave everybody with is just a request from myself is please do join the Open Campus Discord. This will be where you can connect with other developers within the ecosystem that may have submitted into previous hackathons. I highly recommend getting into Discord, finding those people, asking them if they're a winner, what the tips are to give yourself more of a chance to win, and maybe find out the best resources to build on EDU Chain. But yeah, Discord is a place to go for that. The team are in there as well. So if you do have any questions or you're stuck on anything in terms of the application process, that'll be the easiest way to find us all. So that was one final request from me. But yeah, I'll just sign up by saying thank you again to everyone that's tuned in and very excited to see what you build for EDU Chain. I think semester 3 is probably going to be the biggest and best hackathon we've had yet. So excited to see your dApps soon. Thanks, guys.